Hey everyone, that's Religion by Lyda Music, who actually is right here. Hi, how are you?
Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. I gotta say, folks, this is my favorite song. I love this. So, if you don't know, she is the official music artist of Zenny62 as I get ready to go to CES 2019, 10th year in a row. This is cool. Hey, so great to see you. How do you feel about hearing your own music like that?
I mean, I feel like anyone who's a musician, the first few times you hear your own voice, even. I mean, I've been a singer for my whole life, and for the longest time, I couldn't even hear myself being recorded at all. Like in choir concerts, if I had solos or shows I would do where I sang, I couldn't listen to myself. I wouldn't let anyone play it if I was in the room. I would run out and everything. But one thing that's nice about producing my own music is it kind of forces me to have to listen to my vocals, and I have to listen to everything in order to put it all together and make sure it sounds like it all works. So, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of fine with it. It doesn't even bother me at all anymore. But a few years ago, I was pretty uncomfortable with it. So,
but now
it takes a while to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, but now it's like you got these hit record recordings, and right here on Oakland News Now, folks, she has her page, and these are the tunes from the Divine Distraction EP, Ugly Truth, Easier, Hole in the Floor, Religion, Social's another one that I love. And in our previous video, we talked about, here is Social. That's cool, isn't it?
Wake up, check up on the screen. Wake up, check up, what do they think? In the land of the living, dead eyes are staring back at me. Likability's key in the social society.
That is so cool. Someone's got to call Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, and say, "Hey, look, put this music in your commercial." Maybe, well, if Tim Cook is at CES, maybe I can find him and nab him. But hey, Happy New Year!
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
And fill us in on how was your New Year? What's your New Year's resolutions, and what do you think about 2019? All this amazing changes already happened in 3 days of it.
Yeah. Well, for New Year's, I went to a concert, which is pretty much classic me. I love seeing live music, obviously, so I got to spend New Year's at Madison Square Garden with a bunch of friends, so that was really exciting. We saw Fish play there, which was really great. They did a huge show for everyone at midnight and stuff. It was really great. And yeah, I mean, 2018 was definitely a year of a lot of changes. Mm-hmm. Basically, it was the year of me experimenting with my own personal musical sound, and I feel like I put out a few different singles kind of experimenting with it, and then it all kind of culminated into this EP that I just released at the end of the year, where I kind of finally felt like I had a better grasp on the sound I wanted to achieve. And then 2019, I feel like, is about continuing to develop that for myself and then putting all of that on stage. So that's kind of the next step I want to be taking, because a lot of my past performances have been very acoustic, because I play the piano, I play the guitar a little bit too, which is great, and I love that. But I'm excited to start working on a stage setup so that I can do all of these electronic elements on stage, so that I can dance, that I can put on the kind of show I want to put on. So that's kind of my major goal and what I'll be working on this month,
And
more than anything else.
and last year you did some performances live, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. They were mostly, like I said, piano based. So this year I'm really focusing on doing more electronic based performances. So it'll definitely be different. I'm really excited to be able to perform these songs that I made for the EP on stage in front of people, because I haven't been able to do that yet. So that's exciting.
And I feel that the time will come this year, given this distribution and just how great the sound is. Like this one, for example.
Likability is key in the social society. We wanna be seen, we wanna be heard. I'm so social, sit on me so fun. Happy not to drink, I wanna be loved, just like everyone. So social, sit on me so fun. Stop another bowl.
Now, where do you classify that? That's so cool. Where do you classify that?
The song?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I've been classifying it as pop. I mean, I think it's electronic pop. What I would classify it as. I mean, I love both electronic and pop music, and depending on the song on that EP, I think it falls into one of the two, sometimes both. But that one I would say electronic pop.
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome Raider Gans. This is Lyda Music. She is the Zinni 62 Media official artist for CES 2019, which is coming up in just a few days. Oh, and folks, I have a special announcement. I am officially YouTube certified. Yeah! Woo! Sorry. I had to get that out of the way. I'm like so jazzed. And folks, I just have to say what that means basically is that I'm one of 13,000 people around the world that is officially considered a YouTube expert in this case, channel growth. So I can't say enough, and I want to thank Katie for and her folks for having faith in me and everybody, my friends, and sticking with me in my some would say unusual method of media, but really quite commonplace, thankfully, but not so commonplace that anybody can do it. Hence the certification. But anyway, enough about me. This is about you. I just had to get that in there because I'm so fucking jazzed. Sorry.
No, that's awesome.
Man, oh man. But
congratulations.
Hey, thank you so very much. Oh, thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
hey,
I know you've worked so hard for so long, so you definitely deserve it.
I've been on YouTube since April 6th of 2006. And my first video, April 21st of 2006. I have 14,000 videos, and I have 14,671, I believe. And I never really focused on getting subscribers because there used to be people that bought I remember this one guy bought 70,000 subscribers at once. He was on my channel years ago, and I said, hey, I don't think you should do that. And he was like, oh, I'm big now, da 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 da. And next thing you know, his channel was taken away from him. Right?
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, no, do it. And so you're on YouTube, right?
I am.
Yeah. So we're gonna grow your channel. We're gonna grow your channel. You're within a professional, as they would say.
That
reminds me of that line from
videos as you do.
That reminds me of that line from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Don't worry, I'm a professional. So anyway, hey, so what is it that? And I talked about this before, but I'm introducing you also for people who may not have seen the previous video. How did you get inspired to do the music that you did, which is so incredible to listen to?
For the EP?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess for all of you guys who are listening for the first time, or maybe you've listened a little bit already, the EP is called Divine Distraction. So it's basically all inspired from a time in my life that happened just a few years ago. I picked everything up from California, where I'm from, and I moved to New York, and after I moved to New York, there was just a period of a few months where I was just totally stuck and I didn't feel like I could do anything. And all I felt like I could do was distract myself from being productive or from following my goals. Like I wanted to do music and I wanted to make friends and I had all this stuff on my list to do, and all I could really make myself do was go out and party or, go drinking or be on my phone all day. That's what social is about, just being on social media and getting distracted by that. So it's kind of about every song is kind of a type of distraction that I was leaning on at that period of my life. And it's something we all do, I think, which hopefully makes it a little relatable to everyone. And it's something I still totally do. I mean, we all find ways to distract ourselves from things when life is difficult or when, there's stuff we don't want to face. And that's kind of what the whole EP in a nutshell is inspired from that time.
I'm curious, could this have been made any other place than New York? Because it seems like subconsciously maybe the city and its vibe and its beat found its way into your music a little bit.
Oh, I definitely think so. I agree that I don't think I could have made it anywhere else. I mean, I, like so many other people, I think I romanticized New York to an extreme my whole life. I grew up doing theater, so New York was always where I wanted to move. That was always what I was going to do. And then it's a little surreal when you finally go to that place that you've been wanting to go your whole life. And, obviously there's disappointments associated with it because, it'll never really be everything you've always wanted it to be. But there's all this other stuff that I just love about it. Like there's so much life and so much energy. And I feel like that really fueled a lot of the music that I made. And no matter who you meet, and you meet so many people from so many backgrounds, it's like everyone is moving forward in some way. Everyone is working on something in their life, whether it's their career or their business or whether it's finance or arts or theater or writing or whatever. Everyone's working towards something. So there's this amazing inertia and energy that you just feel all the time. And there's so much creativity everywhere you go. There's so much being made, there's so much being thought up. It's just there's just this endless amount of stuff happening all the time. And I feel like that's kind of what fueled this more dance feeling that I've had in my music, because I got really into dance music when I moved to New York, because it matches that energy where you just feel like you want to be doing something and moving forward. And I think that's really inspired a lot of the music that I've started to make in the past year. It really reflects in that. I think that the music I made a few years ago is a lot slower and more sad, which is, obviously has its place, but living in New York has really inspired me to make music that inspires me, and that makes me want to move forward, and that makes me want to dance, and that makes me excited about different stuff. And
in particular this sound, it's like this. Where did that come from? That's cool. Listen to this.
Walk out and squint at daylight. When did it get so hot outside? I don't remember last night. Outrage machines ate up my mind. Beasts of gloom, if the rest of them approve of it.
Hey folks, if you're wondering, this is Lyda. That's Lyda Music. She's the official Zenny 62 music artist for CES, our 10th year. Here, see right here, 10th year. This is her page on Oakland News Now, and this is her, and she's talking about her music for those of you who just come in, and I'm delighted to be here. And Flex says she wishes you the best, or he wishes you the best, and he says he loves your music and everything. And
thank you so much.
And hey, I'm curious. New York also is a place, and you said it, there are a lot of creative people. Was there anybody there that you were influenced by in the course of making the EP, or
Like people in my life.
yeah, or maybe you've encountered even for a second, or even people in your life, or things, or just the atmosphere? Yeah, because it's fascinating. It's fascinating to be able to talk to an artist and
Yeah, of course.
find out where this came from. This genius stuff here.
Thank you. Well, I mean, like I said, when I first moved to New York, I was not um, doing much besides partying and going out and being in my room or being on my phone or being stuck in the TV. So I mean, there was a period of time where I felt like I couldn't move forward at all, and I was seeing all these people around me, and these are the people who kind of inspired me to move forward. I have a lot of awesome, really amazing, talented, creative friends who were already in New York, and I was just watching them pursue their goals and create, plays and web series and direct shows. And I'm watching these people create stuff, and I was just, you know, kind of turned inward, afraid to share anything with the world. And
Why were
I
you
could only really
intimidated,
watch.
or was it? Were you intimidated, or?
I mean, I think I was going through a time where I felt like I kind of just shut off. I mean, I had gone through a lot. My parents broke up. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I felt like I just kind of shut off from everything, and I didn't want to share anything. And then after a while, watching my friends, feel so much happiness and so much freedom from sharing their work, eventually I was just like, oh my God, I have to do this. If I'm just going to think about Sunday sharing stuff, it was just eating me up inside, because I had all these songs that I would play, but not for anyone else. I would just play them for myself alone in my apartment. And then I would go out and see my friends play and say, like, oh my God, he made that, he made that happen. And eventually I realized, after so many months of just wallowing in this like sadness of my situation, I realized that there's no reason why I can't also try to make things happen for myself. And that's honestly the hardest part, when you're in that kind of place. The hardest thing is to just be able to say, I can try to do something, and taking that first step of just doing one thing at a time. It just makes all the difference in the world, because you do one thing, you share one song, and maybe nothing happens with it, but the amount of joy that it creates and the amount of like relief it is to finally share something with the world is like so worth it.
You know what
And then
you
eventually
say?
you kind of becomes a part of the whole creative process. It's just sharing becomes such a big thing. Now it's kind of necessary, obviously.
Yeah, what you say reminds me of the new Apple commercial. It's an animated commercial.
Really? I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's with a girl who is behind her MacBook. It's all animated. She has a kind of a fluffy big dog, and it's snowing outside, and she's in a big sweater, keeping warm, and she's typing her creations, and then I forgot exactly what happens, but the window flies. The dog does something. He makes the window fly open, and her creations fly out of the window, and she goes chasing after them down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they fall into the hands of just bystanders, and they read her poems, I guess they are, and they love them, and that's how her her creations get started. And I was reading about how the commercial was made and what the storyline was, and what you said about yourself was the storyline, that you were indoors, you didn't want to share. They were your creations, and you were trying to figure out how to get them out in the world, and you were pleased when people discovered them, and realized that people enjoyed them, like people enjoying your music, which is, something else.
I mean, and I think it's something that every artist goes through. Like, I haven't been a songwriter my whole life. It's something I've really done more just in the past few years. So I did really have to get over that hurdle of just sharing myself with other people. And that's just one of the biggest steps everyone has to take and everyone has to go through, because there's that fear when you put stuff out there. It's so vulnerable, and you don't know if it's going to fail, or what if people hate it, or what if people like it. And some people are afraid of that too. And it's always just safer to keep it inside, but you can only do that for so long until
Yeah.
It's just not it until you're just unhappy with yourself. I think it's so much it's worth it to take the risk and to share just because of the feeling you have of opening up yourself and your work to other people. I think it's definitely life changing.
Hey, so as we wrap up, so that because I know you have
Mm-hmm.
what because you're just moving into a new place, you're unpacking and everything else. But
I did.
what's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution. Oh my God. Well, I already talked about how I want to do more performances, but I think this year I really want to focus on just like having fun and taking risks. I feel like there was a lot I wanted to do, or a lot of just wanted to do in the past few years that I've just still been a little too scared to try to do, just like places I want to visit and food I want to eat and things I want to go, like events I want to go to. And I think this year I really want to just, you know, if I want to do something, I want to just allow myself to do that instead of, you know, like maybe not be so judgmental on myself, maybe not be so hard on myself, and just be able to like have fun and try new things. Because there's just a whole list of stuff I want to try and stuff I want to do, things I want to explore. And, you know, it can be tough to let yourself do that sometimes. And this year I just want to be all about being open to exploring.
Oh, by the way, speaking of
and everything. What?
Speaking of exploring, I want to pull up your Twitter account, not just to get people to follow, but I thought it was just so whimsical. The certain photograph just got my eye because it was.
Is it the unicorn one?
It was. Is that what he is? A unicorn? Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's the unicorn.
That was so cool. I mean, that was. I have to say that there it is. There it is. Right here. There it is. 2019, already off to a magical start, folks. That's Lyda and the unicorn.
Yeah.
At
It's
Madison,
my mystery man.
at Madison Square Garden, right? MSG.
Yep.
Looks like fun. Hey, folks, follow her on Twitter. Let's help her get to 100 followers. She's at 49 right now. There she is, Lyda, at Lyda Music. We're following each other. She has CES 2019 as well. So, you know, if you see this and you're going to CES 2019, you need some inspirational music. Hey, follow her on Twitter. She tweets great stuff out, fantastic stuff. And we'll be back, but I want to thank you so very much.
Yes,
and don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. All right. So, folks, hey, folks, click on the link to this video to hear all of her music. We'll be back. Lyda is the official music artist of Zenny62 Media's 10th year of coverage of CES 2019 Las Vegas. See ya in a little bit. All right.